Daily Homes, it's Chuck here, and we got a list of, it started at about 30. I took about 5 or 6 off that I just thought were crap and they didn't review well. And so we're down to a list of 26, and I hope you had a lot of fun this weekend. 1380 Main Street starts us off, and it's number 108. So first floor tends to take a bit of a value hit, I guess because the perceived thing of break-ins or whatever else. But we're not in the ghetto, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And you could actually maybe even, put your groceries onto your balcony, put them right inside. You don't need to go up the elevators and all the rest of it. So I actually think it's not too bad. That could be like a hardwood or an engineered floor, open concept layout. I mean, the high views don't create the illusion of space. That looks like a bigger shot than this one here. And then you also have what looks like a den, which they're using as a small eat-in area, and then you have the bedroom. So all in all, it's got some good amenities in this building. It's a convenient location. Even you could walk to the GO train in probably 10, maybe 15 minutes tops. So $229 seems like the right price. The values for those condo buildings have kind of flatlined a little bit. For most of the condos in Milton, they haven't gone up very much in the last year, but they always tend to kind of float and then boom, and then they hit up, and then they kind of float and then they hit up. That tends to be the way they do that. Same with the 3-story, the Mattamy townhomes. 383 Main Street doesn't have a unit number here, but it's 284.9, and so it's a 1-bedroom plus den. And the finishes inside are okay. I mean, the big thing with this building is you've got all the solar panels here. The whole push on this one, it's geothermal heating. The heat is included with the condo fees, and they're only $100, which is probably half of what you'd spend anywhere else. So of course that's going to drive the prices up, because the carrying cost for the same monthly cost, you could actually buy a more expensive condo. So, and there's the whole allure with green and environmentally friendly and everything else too. Now we know from hybrid cars that people will only pay for environmental friendliness if it translates into dollars in their pocketbook. So let's see what happens with these. The second one at $224 is an assignment from the builder, so you're buying directly from the builder here, and it's a 2-bedroom. And it's got some angles here, and usually with angles in a condo building is that usually means empty, wasted space. The most functional and efficient layout of a condo is actually just a completely square, rectangular kind of floor plan, because there's no wasted space or very little. And it looks like those balls are floating in the air, but they're probably on some kind of a rack. And there's a party room. Looks okay to me. I would take, I mean, all things being equal, it's hard because there hasn't been a lot of precedent with these buildings. In fact, a lot of them have been selling on Craigslist and Kijiji and message boards, so it's hard to have a lot of running history on them, but the first few sales I think are really going to dictate where the building sits. Seller's path is 333. It's an Amesbury or Brennan model. And I like what they did here. They actually built in this wall that was originally all open, and so they kind of built a little bar up, put a bistro. I like the way they did that. That's nice. Now I'd be concerned those stools may be infringing a little too much on the other room, because it's not a huge room. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs and 1 full washroom shared between the 3 bedrooms. I wouldn't be surprised if this one's sold by the weekend, because what we're doing is we're reviewing everything that happened since Friday. And so some of the properties over the weekend obviously weren't updated because of the the holiday and everything else. So Kavanaugh's at 339. Woodbine, 1356 square feet. It looks like there's a bit of upgrading in this one. Not a huge amount. Seems a little bit high to me, to be honest. McKay Crescent, it's a Bryant's, 1235 square feet. And same thing, 1 full bathroom up there on the 2nd floor. It's a nice floor plan. The main floor is nice. That price seems a little high to me, but when you look at what the model above the Croft side is going for, it actually seems pretty realistic. So Andrews Trail is 374.8, and it's all in, including the finished basement. This one usually gets quoted at just under 1,800 square feet. It's a bit of a narrow family room here. And they could have done a better job, like just getting it ready, just clearing up a lot of the crap off the desks and so on. And there's your finished basement. So I don't know, it's okay. Backs onto Thompson, so you hear the loud noise. The price they might get it's probably a touch high. Laurier is at 374.9, And so I don't know if there's any interior walls that are shared or if it's just the garage. Typically the semis on Laurier are going for about 340, 350, but this one actually looks a little bit bigger, and you can see the hot tub in the back. So you've got a lot of square footage here. You've got a family room with a wood-burning fireplace, and you've got a big open kitchen here. And plus you have a finished basement, and it's a 35 by 115 foot lot. So if you can't reach that 430 or whatever to get into Dorset Park in a detached home, this could be a really good option as a semi. Kearns is next one up, 439, and so it's about 1750 square feet plus a finished basement. Really nice floor plan here. The kitchen's very functional. It's got the island there. There's still room for a breakfast table, as you can see here in the photo. You've got a separate dining room in the front. I mean, I would have probably shown the finished basement as one of the photos because I think that that's such a huge investment for people. Instead of just a kid's bedroom, I think that that can be a really good thing to show. And and it looks like there's a bathroom down in the basement too. July 2012 possession. So these guys could be motivated. 439. We saw similar homes on Evans sell recently way up into the fours, maybe not as high as 439, I think in the 430s, but they're probably going to do okay. It's a really nice floor plan. Cedar Hedge is at 459, it's about 1,500 square feet. There's a front, so this one has a front dining room, and then it also has a family room further back with the kitchen. It's okay, there's a finished basement. I don't know. Cedar Hedge is the old fourth line, and just to watch your zoning maps to see what's going to be built directly across the street from these guys. Ferguson is 459, and it looks like a Mayberry, which I believe is about, I think it's 1820 square feet, and everything looks okay here. I think given the one on Yates and everything else, I think this one's probably pretty reasonably priced. That, on the outside, they've identified it as concrete board, which a lot of people think of vinyl siding or they want all brick. That's actually a very good material to build homes. Apparently the insulation is quite good. It is very durable, but you would do your research about that because not every builder does it. It's a little less common, and you probably do take a hit. I mean, people like all brick. That tends to be the way it is. Although it's more interesting when you do have a couple different materials on the outside, like this one on Seller's Path. It's 469, and looks very nice inside. And so you've even got that little powder room on the main floor. You've got like a little bit of a self-contained area where you could have an in-law, and it's very nice. The photos. I just look at something like McGurn or some of the other models that have sold. It just seems a little bit high to me. There's a double garage in the back. There's actually no backyard. It just has a patio above the double garage. So Duncan Lane is at 470, and the photos, just crappy photos. The previous one, they're actually acting as their own listing agent, and you look at this with an actual real estate agent, and the photos are not even half as good as the previous one. I know they're different house styles, but it's really, it's a wake-up call. If people can do a better job on their own with photos, I don't get it. Agency really, it's the best investment to take really good photos of a house because, like we always say, your first showing is online. July 15th is the possession. So these guys are definitely, the clock's ticking on them. 2,200 square feet. I don't know if it's going to get that zip factor. And at 470, people have a choice. They don't have to go into a semi. And on top of that, that one's in front of the train tracks too. So, bit tricky. Weston Drive is at 479. You figure the normal house is probably worth about 450 or so. And then you add the finished basement there. So I think these guys are in good shape. The only thing is it's a link home, so it is joined by a foundation. Usually these models are joined by a foundation in the bottom, so it looks detached, but it actually has the wall there. It's actually cheaper for the builders to make it. They're not doing two separate walls; they're doing one wall together. Sherwood is next one, 499, and it's a bungalow. And I was real excited when I saw this one, 40 by 102 foot lot, so it's a nice sized piece of land. It's pretty close to Main Street, so you do have that ability to walk to places. You could go to the leisure center, so you could live in a home like this. Let's say you're a little bit older, You could go, to Aqua Fitness, or you could go to the gym. You could walk back. It'd be a great little morning. I think about someone who's retired. This would be a great place for them. There's your kitchen, and then you can see that you've got this nice slope ceiling effect, and there's a loft upstairs. So you could even have it could be an area where guests can stay. You've got this open area outside the bedroom. And then you've got a little bit of work done in the backyard too. So overall, I really like this one. I think it fits very well. I love the fact that it's under $500, because people who sell their, $700,000 or $800,000 house, this is a nice step down to take some money out of some equity out of their property, and they don't lose things like the double car garage. So it's a good one. Farmstead, $539, and let's have a look inside. Not a lot of upgrades, but I haven't seen this model very much. So you'd actually have your front door here, dining, and then you'd have a family room. And it's not as open concept with the kitchen, because you've got this staircase that blocks the way. So it's different. It's not the standard cookie cutter type of arrangement, which could really work for somebody, or could really make it a little bit tougher for them. The fact that it has a finished basement this quick, I mean, these ones have only started closing the last couple months. It could be a good thing. That's what you back onto. Now, there's townhouses just to the left of here that if they're not built already, they certainly will be. There was one on Kavanaugh previously, which is the street that sort of loops very close to this one. I still like it, though. I think there's a lot of good things. Farmstead will definitely be a cut-through street. It will be a little bit busier. And $539 in the big picture with that finished basement, I think they're going to do just fine. Robarts, $539, 61 by 104 foot lot, and actually great photos, beautiful sky. Everything in here looks terrific. I mean, these guys know how to set their home up. The little breakfast bar certainly comes in handy, and I have no complaints with this one at all. I think it looks actually very nice. Allen Crescent, $559. It's a bungalow. I'd take the Sherwood one over this one, but I do like the way this one looks. And these guys have a finished basement. So it says 1983 square feet of builder finished space. I'd be curious to see if the builder finished the basement too, because that would indicate how much space you're dealing with. And with a bungalow, your finished basement is actually more square footage. It's bigger than if you had a two-story with a finished basement, because you're just dealing with a bigger footprint on the ground. So it's a nice little location there. There's lots of good parks close by. Again, I think about grandkids and having them over if somebody a little bit more mature bought this one. Arthur's Way, $569. It's a Scotswood, 2350 square feet. This is my favorite one because it's got that nice tall window in the front living dining area, and you can see it right there. There's your kitchen. A little bit more basic, but it's still, this is a good price for this model. Couple trees behind. Arthur's Way is a very, very nice street. Very, very quiet too. So middle of August is their possession date. $569 is a good price for that one. Easterbrook, $569, about 2,700 square feet, a little bit bigger than the previous. Plus a finished basement, and nice high entrance, family room. Then there's a dining room right beside it, and you can see the kitchen. Now that's actually the basement kitchen, because if you look, you've got walls on all sides. The upstairs kitchen looks very similar. It's almost the exact same color. I mean, if you saw two shots of them right next to each other, they're almost identical. So it's actually a good looking listing. I think that you've got the yard space, you've got the extra 100-foot lot. And these guys are, I think, in the right price. They should sell this one if it looks half decent inside. Lansborough, $587, $886. And so it's one of the, I don't even know what Mattamy design this is. I've seen it before. I just don't know the plan, whichever one it is. It's okay. It's hard to sell a vacant house. Santa Maria, $699. Excuse me. And it's about 3,100 square feet, and then you also have a nice 43 by 100-foot lot, big open concept floor plan, and glass shower, double sinks, all those things that you look for. So that's basically a pool-sized piece of land. It's on the east-west part of Santa Maria, so you're not going to back onto that commercial stuff. And overall, I'm a big fan of this one. That could be windows down to a kind of a finished area down here. So nice price on this one. Rixon Way is at 795. It's a Tothberg. It's 65 by 105, so it looks like an extra premium kind of lot. Now it could be wider in the front and then cut in, because if you see the homes on this side, it might cut in a little bit on that end. And that's the only shot we have here. That's actually, when you're coming up the stairs, you've got your master over on this side, and then the rest of the rooms go this way. Now, if that first shot is any indication, I would think that they're actually going to have a pretty good photo gallery. It is a 5-bedroom home, unfinished basement at $795. That would be on the high end of what these ones sell for without a premium lot or without a finished basement. Now, Amos is the second, I think third last one, and it's a triple car garage. It's certainly a little bit more original condition. It's not that wow factor, but you can turn these homes into the wow factor. It's probably on a pie-shaped lot because a 44-foot frontage is a little bit less than what you'd expect, considering the garage is about 30 feet wide. So this one here is actually $1 million house by the time by the time you do the work. And then you say, okay, is it worthwhile to put the $1 million in that one, or something that's already done that has a little less age on it? So Fourth Line's at 1.55, 48.3 acres. And so you're basically, it's all the paddocks and all the stalls and everything else. So these are a little trickier to value. A little bit more of a narrow market for like the horse farm, that kind of stuff. So it might take these guys a little bit. And some pictures obviously would be nice, but they're not loaded yet. And then we have this one on Trafalgar, 5.8 acres, 1.9 million. And there's no photos on this one here too. Now there are a few on this row of in Trafalgar that have sold recently, so just want to pay attention to some of those sales to come up with the value for this one. Now that's it for the list. Enjoy yourself, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Milton Daily Homes. Have a great day.